I am joined now by my brother, Patrick Toombs, who qualified for the event through no family shenanigans, but on his own accord. I didn't toss him a couple wins. You made top 8 in the first event, and then you were like ninth or 10th place in both of the next couple events, losing on your winning in matches. I think you played Ball
And
Might and Burt
yeah.
2, and then you topped with Toga 3. Okay, so first off, how did you get into universes?
Well, we had a kind of an interview where we kind of went over this last year about this time. We were in front of your Christmas tree at the time. Now we're in front of mine. After the webcam winter webcam last year, but I believe, and I got a really bad memory. Um, we were walking through a brand new game store that just opened up in Lubbock, and I kind of wanted to buy something to support. And I saw there that they had the My Hero card game, and they had a couple boxes of set two that had been out. And so I talked about it with you a little bit, and then yeah, we bought starters, and we bought a box of set two, split it up, played together, and it got us hooked.
Yeah,
I
I
played I played some digital card games on and off before, mostly Hearthstone and a little bit of Magic online, but never any card game competitively. And so this was kind of our first one. Although we buy games and play them all the time, but this is the one that really got us obsessed.
yeah, and the biggest factor was that it was just starting because also tried to get into Magic. We went and played some
Mhm.
like draft Magic nights, but Magic felt too well. You got Commander, you have Standard, you have Modern, you had different stores are playing different things. What is really the competitive path here? And then it was like, well, this MHA card game is only on set 2. We can
Yeah,
actually like
know all the
afford
cards,
these
figure it
cards.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, we can get started here. But you were the one that actually bought the product. You asked if I would split it with you, and I did. And then you got some Crimson
Yeah.
Rampage box that we split because at that time we thought spending $100 on a box was a big deal. So
Yeah,
that's
that
something
was that
you
was too much.
that's something we want to split the cost on. Whereas now it's like, well, it's too much.
Yeah. Yeah, entirely.
Okay, what is your let's see, what's the next one? What is your favorite UVS character and your favorite attack?
I thought about this because I don't really have a favorite character per se, because my favorite part about this game is deck building. And so I'm always tinkering and trying to figure out different characters. Um, and every event, I generally play a different character, minus a little string of going on Toga and Mirio. I had a long while of playing those too. But I think if I had to pick one character, it'd be Tetsu Tetsu, just because that was the first character I fell in love with and I learned the game on and won an event with locally. Just having offense and defense on face, being a pretty vanilla character really helped me as a new player. And so, it'll always have a special place in my heart. And then same with the attack. Favorite attack would be Tetsu Tetsu Thrashing. Set three came out just a month or two after probably just a month after we started playing, really, and then Tetsu Tetsu got thrashing, and that was a big part of the next little bit for me in playing and having fun. Even though both character and attack are kind of outclassed right now, I think they're still my favorites just because of my history with them.
Yeah, I remember you were kicking our butt so much with thrashing that I decided to copy your deck, but I didn't want to copy your deck because I don't know, I just didn't want to be that guy, and then I ended up so I played it on Nomu just to still
Yeah,
five-hander, big defense, the same strat, basically copied your deck.
yeah.
Do you have your Tetsu Tetsu playmat with you?
Not on me. It's over in my room.
Oh, okay. Okay, next one. What is your hottest UVS take? Everybody's going to disagree.
Uh, so I've got a couple takes. My biggest take is completely unrelated doable. So I'll kind of go in order. I think number one, first take, stop doing UR pre-release promos. Every single time we have a pre-release lately, when we get a UR, looks cool, it's fun, and then I open up my product and I get a, full play set of it, and then it just feels like, gosh dang it, I kind of wasted it.
Yeah, the
I really
value's
liked,
tanked.
yeah, and I really liked getting Mr. Compress in League of Villains. I'd like something along those lines. Another take is fewer characters. I think there are too many characters in the game. I um, I really like that in general because I like to tinker, but at most of the major events, you're playing the same characters over and over again. Especially kind of at nationals, I was running into overhaul, into overhaul, into overhaul, and then the nationals before that, Kirishima into Kirishima into Kirishima. It just seems like there's a ton of mediocre characters, and then there's like the characters that are sitting at the top that get all the play. It would be nice to have fewer characters that they put more kind of weight into. I like being able to play your favorite character from any IP, but having seven All Mights, for example, that's a lot.
Yeah.
But my big take is I would love for the game to have a clock like in chess, where each player had 30 minutes on the clock, and then every time you say pass or do an enhance, you click the clock and it goes to the next person, just like chess, because we played a lot of chess online, and I think that would be nice because if you run out of your 30 minutes, you lose the round. It makes pace of play a little quicker. You don't have to call a judge and say, "Hey, my opponent's playing slowly." There's incentives there. If you want to play a really complicated deck, you got to know how to do it. Got to go know how to do quick. Makes misplay drama really interesting because everyone has to hit the clock, and if you say, "Oh, wait, let me go back," it's like, "Yeah, sorry, my time's going." And then it adds in the clock as being a critical part instead of like a
Yeah, it takes
kind of
away the awkwardness of saying you can't go back on something you did because it's like taking your fingers off the chess piece. It's like no, you click the clock. Clicking the clock
yeah,
locked it in.
yeah, and it would stop the I think this guy's slow playing me, or the frustration of, oh my goodness, somebody's going slow, or maybe it's you that is going slow and you don't recognize it until you start playing a few competitive games with the clock and realize, oh my gosh, I got to step up my pace of play. I think we always see slow play in our opponents and are kind of slower to notice it in ourselves.
And it would
But
take away draws, right? If you each start with 30 minutes and you don't get any extra time every move you take, then
yeah,
hey, somebody is going to run out of time. Well, then
yeah,
it becomes
or
a weird,
well,
like, let's just.
you could get a draw. Like let's say one player wins, and then the next round you're going and the person runs out of time, and now it's a 1-1 tie. But now
Oh,
you
I
have
see.
30 minutes on the clock for each person. You give time between rounds to shuffle up, so it's like 70 minutes. Um, but I just think it would help the pace of play, even though it's completely unrealistic. And I don't think we're going to be like a major chess tournament with a clock at every station, though I think it would be cool.
Yeah, I would be in favor. Um, okay, what's an IP that Universes should add?
I like the vibe of the anime and manga. Um, so just any of them, I'd be okay with it. I'd like a full Spy Family set. They gave some cards, but then never really anything. Spy Family would be fun. Jujutsu Kaisen would be fun. They're really any of them. I'm on board.
But you want them
Um,
to stay anime and not go all Guilty Gear Street Fighter like they
I
sort of
like
are at the latter end of next year.
Yeah, I like the fighting game stuff in terms of gameplay and flavor because it our game is a kind of a fighting game on as cards. I just don't play the games, and it doesn't hold any like nostalgia to me. Um, so I'd rather keep it in the anime realm. But I'm okay with other things. I was never a Godzilla fan, but have really enjoyed those cards also. So yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'd be in favor of that too. And then if I stop playing Universus, it will be because of blank.
I think it'd be if you stopped playing, um, or if locals died. If, to me, I really like the social aspect of gaming. That's growing up. Anytime we played games, played a lot of video games and stuff, and it was always about playing with other people and everything. Um, and so online is fine, but it's different. And then the major events
Mm-hmm.
uh, are kind of too intense to really socialize very well. I've made a lot of really good friends at the major events, but in general, I really like the vibe of the local players and the local scene and getting to know everybody and talking with them during the games or after the games. So I think, if locals died and if you got out of the game and it was just me playing here, I'd probably be out.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. And then what character are you going to play at the event? And what character do you think will win the event?
Uh, the character I am playing is Mimic. I've been really enjoying just all of the assets Mimic has access to now, especially like Soup, playing it and then using it to pass your checks on turn one. Assets have just been getting better and better. And then as a bonus, it's kind of got a Burt 2 good matchup where Burt 2 explodes and doesn't touch Mimic at all. Burt 2 stuns on every attack, doesn't really affect Mimic at all. Um, and then, if you have Godzilla's trying to beat the Burt 2s faster or anything, they don't have access to their, once per game. So I think I like playing them, period, lately. And then just luckily, he seems to have a good matchups into the meta. We'll see how it actually shakes up, but that's who I'm playing. And the character I think is going to win is Mimic. Although I think it's going to be Barlow. I think Barlow is going to win it all with Mimic. I think I don't think I'll win it. I don't know what his list is, and we probably run very different lists. But he's a great player, and I think Mimic's a great character. So let's
All right.
put it. Mimic wins, but not me.
Finals will be Mimic versus Mimic.
Oh,
Yeah,
that'd be
Mimic.
nice.
Mimic dunks on. Yeah, you're going to play. Got a decent Burt matchup, very good Godzilla matchup, and he dunks on things like my Reiner 1. We played in the finals of our local championship, and you beat me. You beat me 4-0 because we played in Swiss and in the championship, and it just felt like I could not overcome your character not caring about foundations when I'm playing a foundation denial character.
Yeah, he seems like he's got a lot of neutral matchups, no terrible matchups, and a few matchups that he just went. As soon as you sit down and you look at the other character and you say, "Oh, it's Paul," okay, this is going to be good for me. And so he's got a lot of just auto win feels like matchups, which is nice, even though most of his matchups seem to be more neutral.
Yeah. Well, perfect. Any last shout outs before I let you go?
Uh, Not really. I shout out our locals and everybody I play with and play test with. Shout out the team. But yeah. Anybody who helps me play and practice.
Perfect. Well, if you want to root on Patrick and Mimic, and I highly suggest you do so because I want this. Oh man, my earphones turned off. I want the top prize to stay in the family. So I'm personally rooting for Patrick here. But if you want to join me, it's Saturday at 10 a.m. Central Time, all streamed on Tam Cardwell's Twitch. I'll see you there.